You span the bottle, then pursed your lips, waiting for it to stop. There were a lot of people here who you wouldn't mind kissing, but some you wanted to keep far, far away from. That was part of the game though, you supposed. You were pleasantly surprised when the bottle slowed, then came to a halt on Jirou, who looked just as shocked as you that she had been picked. You smiled at her, hoping she didn't mind having to kiss you. But when she caught your gaze, she looked away, dragging her hand up through her hair awkwardly. It was quite a surprise she was playing at all, really. You hadn't thought this would be her kind of thing. Then again, Ashido had not bullied her into it like she had with some of the other players. As the others urged her on, Jirou got to her feet, then made her way towards you, keeping her gaze to the ground. She seemed nervous. When she was in front of you, it took her a moment to look up, but when she did, she gave you a small smile, then hugged her arms around herself. "Are you okay?" you asked, worried that she might be forcing herself. "We don't have to do this if you don't want to." She looked at you again, her eyes growing wide for a moment, then shook her head. No, it's not that. I'm just, Instead of thinking what to say next, Jirou shut her eyes tight and leaned into you, then planted a warm kiss on your cheek. Your heart did a giddy leap, taken aback by how sweet it was, particularly when it took her a couple of seconds to open her eyes once she had pulled away. Her cheeks were dusted pink, and she looked more nervous than ever. Her shyness was infectious. You found yourself blushing the longer she stared at you, like she had something she wanted to say. She bit her lip, bouncing gently on her toes until she had to look at the floor. "What was that?" Mineta grumbled, disappointedly, only for Zero to gag him with tape. Zero threw the two of you an apologetic smile, but neither of you saw it because you were too focused on each other. You could see it in her eyes. Mineta's words had struck a chord. She looked at you, looked at your lips. The pink in her cheeks turned darker, and she leaned forward towards you, slowly, so slowly, like she was waiting for you to pull away. Then she kissed you on the mouth. It was gentle, and just as sweet as last time, and as she lingered for just a little too long, you heard her breathe a contented sigh before she pulled back, pursing her lips to hold down a smile. The sight of her being so utterly adorable made your heart flutter. You knew the others wanted to carry on with the game, but before you moved to sit down, you couldn't help but lean into her one last time. She was surprised. You could tell by the way she flinched, but when she realized what you were doing, she moved into you, tilting her head so that your lips could fit perfectly together. As your classmates cheered, you reached out a hand to touch her arms, still folded around herself. When she felt your fingers brush her skin, she was hesitant at first, but relaxed, letting her hands fall to her sides as she kissed you with the timidity of a kitten. You slipped your hands into hers, kissing her one last time, then felt yourself smile as she squeezed it, then let you go to scurry away with a blush. For the rest of the game, you stole glances at one another, catching each other's eye, smiling when your gazes lingered for too long or when others caught you staring. That night, when everyone else had tired and gone to their rooms to sleep, you chose to stay up to watch a movie on the common room TV. You made yourself some popcorn, got yourself a glass of water, then settled down on the comfiest sofa and let the movie play. It was just as the trailers started to roll that you heard a noise from the stairs. You looked over your shoulder and saw Jirou on the bottom step. She was wearing her pajamas with a blanket tucked under her arm. When she noticed you looking, she was startled, but managed to wave. I'm not tired yet. Sorry, I didn't know you'd still be up. Do you mind if I join you? She asked, looking nervous again, like she expected you to say no. But you gave her a reassuring smile and shuffled to give her room to squeeze in beside you. Only if we can share the blanket. Her face lit up with a smile. She looked as bright as a button, and that truly was a rare sight for Jirou. She nodded, agreeing to your terms, then climbed in next to you and spread the blanket out. You waited until she was comfortable, settling into your side so that the blanket could fit over the both of you, then passed her the popcorn and told her which movie you were watching. She nodded and hummed to say she understood, but it became apparent that she would not make it to the end of the film. As the movie began to play, she sighed happily and cuddled up to you, tucking herself into the contours of your body as her eyelids turned heavy. Just as you had suspected, she was tired, despite what she had told you. But that very fact is what made your chest warm, and you wrapped your arm around her shoulders as she started to fall asleep on you. There was no way she hadn't known you would be down here. You had announced very loudly to everyone that you were claiming the TV. The blanket was a nice touch, though,